Nicola Sturgeon's independence bid could be on the brink if Prime Minister Boris Johnson agrees to give Scotland full fiscal autonomy, it has been claimed. The Scottish Government Finance Secretary Kate Forbes, First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, Shadow Chancellor Alison Thewlis MP and Scottish National Party (SNP) Westminster leader Ian Blackford have all called for Scotland to have greater fiscal autonomy in order to be able to fully recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Blackford said during Prime Minister's questions over the summer, the UK faces the worst health and economic emergency in decades, and it requires an unprecedented response. It is absolutely vital that the Scottish Parliament has the financial powers and funds necessary to fuel a strong recovery and protect Scotland's budget. Scotland can make different choices for an investment-led recovery, but we can only do it with the borrowing powers and access to capital needed to stimulate our economy. He added, it would be completely unacceptable if the Tories were to leave the Scottish Parliament to respond to this huge economic crisis with one hand tied behind its back by refusing to devolve the powers needed and ushering in another decade of Tory austerity cuts. Prime Minister Boris Johnson dodged the questions, telling MPs, Scotland has so far received as part of our UK campaign against coronavirus £3.8 billion in Barnett consequentials, a fact that I'm sure is seldom off his lips in his discussion with SNP colleagues. We will continue to invest massively in Scotland because Scotland, like the whole of the UK, benefits from being part of the oldest and most successful political partnership in the world. According to author Richard Bath, if the government wants to stop Scottish independence, the best course of action would be giving the SNP exactly what they are asking for. He explained last year, instead of seeding a referendum if the nationalists dominate next year's elections, the granting of full fiscal autonomy would instantly transform the terms of the debate. This federal system would see the Scottish government only spending what it raises in taxes, including from oil, bat and whiskey. Instead of sending taxes to Westminster and in return getting a block grant, Scotland's only financial contribution to the UK would be a pro rata share of the defence budget and interest payments on the existing national debt. Although the SNP would see full fiscal autonomy, aka Devo Max and fiscal federalism, as a bear trap and would inevitably present it as an economic punishment beating, how could First Minister Nicola Sturgeon present a coherent case for opposing what is, in effect, independence light? It is a move, Mr. Bath noted, that would radically empower Holyrood and ensure that Westminster could no longer be framed as the villain of the piece. It could essentially silence the SNP, as the electorate's focus would shift to their incompetence, where its record on health, education and the economy is woeful.